So, good morning everyone. My name is Tom Mulligan. I'm the Director of Professional Services for Congruity360. And today I want to kind of talk a little bit about our professional services, managed services offerings that we have today. I know some of you were out at Combalt Go early this week where we showed a demonstration of our future of what we believe is managed services, what it will become, and how we are going to integrate more of our managed service offerings that we have today into that solution. And then lastly, what I want to do is kind of take you through, because this is obviously a storage event, I really want to kind of have a nice little whiteboard session to talk about data migrations and how you're moving from the current storage array to that net new one. I know you have a lot of different storage companies here this week, Dell EMC, E8, and the data migration piece, moving that data from one side to the other, the copy process that's the easiest part. It's the discovery, it's the analysis, it's understanding the environment, everything that goes into that really makes a successful data migration. That's what I want to kind of walk through with everyone here today. So, first off, who we are. Just to talk a little bit about, Congruity360, we have really a long history and a number of different entities that make up Congruity360, starting all the way back in 2003 with, we have an e-discovery company that we actually brought into the fold earlier this year, K&J. That company was founded by Kirk Carter. And that actually, while they were just brought in about 2017, we've actually been partners with them in offering managed services and e-discovery services with them over a large number of years. Going back into now 2006, that's when Brian Davidson and Sean Brady created Rockland IT. That specialized in refurbished hardware sales, ways for companies to reduce their capital budget by purchasing not net new storage, but almost like new storage. Going forward now to 2010, that's when MSDI was formed, and that's more the consulting third-party maintenance side of our business. Again, also by Sean Brady and Brian Davidson. And together, they actually purchased a data center in Fall River, Massachusetts in 2013. It's a 200,000 square foot data center. It's where a lot of our managed services, professional services are actually offered out of. And we also do a lot of our 24/7 operations team monitoring from that facility there. Skipping ahead, you look at 2016, that's when actually Rockland IT and MSDI actually merged into Congruity. We rebranded when we brought K&J into the fold in 2017. And in the coming weeks, we're actually, as part of our data center, we are opening our executive briefing center. And out of that facility, we're actually going to be doing a lot of training. We're going to be one of the only East Coast facilities that offers pure training outside of a pure facility, pure storage. And also many other vendors who want to come in and leverage that facility for conferences just like this. I know Tech Field Day will actually be there next week. It's Fall River, Massachusetts, not really the destination capital of where you want to go in Massachusetts. However, from a data center perspective, it's a really unique building. It's formed out of granite block, floor to ceiling, and as you kind of walk through the facility, it just seems to keep going and going in what appears to be from the outside a very small footprint. So
it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside?
Absolutely. So as we talk about all the different offerings that we have, we talk a lot with our customers about the lifecycle management and how we're able to assist companies with purchasing net new storage or refurbished storage, implementing those services for them, maybe helping them make a decision on what is the right cloud solution for them, migrating that data to the cloud alongside them. We provide third-party maintenance and support, so being able to conserve money by not renewing with the OEM. Sometimes we're able to save customers up to 50% in operating expense costs. And as a result of that, taking that additional money that you were able to save, putting it back into another purchase or future storage. The other big thing that we'll actually do is, old hardware that's out on the floor today, as you're buying that net new storage array, we're able to actually take the old one off the floor, and then maybe there is some value in that. We'll actually cut companies checks for that infrastructure. So with all of that rich history of what we have, what we feel as though we bring is unmatched expertise. Everyone in our data center is a tier 1, 2, or 3 engineer, all of which focus either on storage, e-discovery, data management, backup, all the different offerings that we actually have and we provide to our customers today. We're a small footprint here on the East Coast. However, we are worldwide. We manage and maintain storage arrays for companies in Switzerland, in India. We are in West Coast, Canada, Mexico, you name it. We are worldwide.
Are you looking at building up data centers worldwide eventually?
No.
Not immediately?
No, not really. So what
You
we
and
have
your
done,
GDPR stuff.
because
Well, yeah, I got that stuff.
we do understand that obviously our data center in Fall River, not really place that some people want to go to. We've actually contracted with Cirrus One, which is the number 3 data center in the world. And some of our actual solutions that we do have for managed services, we do have worldwide. We're working with a company in London today where they're actually putting infrastructure in London for them in that Cirrus One data center.
Okay.
So yes, through our contracts and connections, we can provide you services anywhere.
So it's not owned by you, but you have everything set up
Correct.
to do it worldwide. Great.
Absolutely. So with that, I kind of want to talk a little bit about our managed services and what we've branded our Sky solutions. We have a few offerings here that's on our main slide deck: Sky Stack, Sky Discovery, Sky Ops, and Sky Recovery. All of these here, as I'm walking through this, I want everyone to also think about how, what our future is going to be as we start to bring these items into our marketplace and making customers a little bit easier for them to consume these services with a few simple clicks, subscribing to a service, and now they're off and running and able to leverage that, whether it's a hybrid cloud model, but it's fully managed, meets an SLA that they are looking for, and whether it's fully managed or we just assist them in standing it up. So here's a picture here of that actual data center. You see here it's about 200,000 square feet. It's about 75,000 square feet actually built out currently. There's another 70,000 square feet of space that's just waiting for additional services to come online as we start to build out the second floor of the facility. And as we kind of talk about one of our managed services offerings, our Sky Stack. So one of the challenges I think companies face, and prior to my time here at Congruity360, I worked a lot. Worked in legal for 19 years, and talk about data growth and needing to store massive amounts of documents and email and never having to delete them. It's extremely challenging. And of course, every single year you get that, but your capital budget, now that's a little less. Your OpEx budget, that's a little less. Even though your data is growing and your footprint's getting larger, how do you actually combat that from an IT perspective? One of our solutions that we have is our fully managed Sky Stack. That's our file archive in the cloud. So what we're able to do is work with customers to go in, perform a file assessment, assist them in identifying, you have 6 petabytes of data worldwide sitting on NetApp or Isilon or traditional Windows file servers. Do you know what makes up that data? Most customers don't. They don't understand that, they have files back from 2001. Do you really need those? Were you supposed to delete them? No one really knows. Is it the same file just copied over and over again into multiple directories? Absolutely.
My favorite's the 4,000 multi-mate files that we haven't had a program that can open for 15 years.
But you got to hold on to them.
Well, that's what legal says.
Absolutely. And so with all of that, what we do is we will go on site, assist a customer with that, assessment, and then help them make a right decision on a data retention policy. And as part of that, maybe it's 6 petabytes, and really they only need to keep 4, so you're trimming 2 off the bat, and now you're creating a local data retention policy to say, all right, on-prem, we're going to keep for this. Everything else is going to move to this file archive solution in the cloud. And then from there, we can actually purge data as needed within this system. But what does that allow you to do? Shrink your overall data center footprint, remove some of that infrastructure that you no longer need because you're actually setting the right policy for your company. And then in turn, you're actually getting a more consistent operating expense. Every single month, you know what the bill is. It's not going to fluctuate. It's not going to go up and down. You're going to kind of maintain a consistent approach to those costs. And as we kind of move through our Sky Discovery, and Sky Discovery is actually our e-discovery platform. And with that, it's similar to built out on that Sky Stack infrastructure, but now layered on top of that with running on a pure storage array, is we have our e-discovery solutions running on top. Our InfoGov, full text index. We could take on any type of record that you're looking for. Email, file, system data. Bring all of that data into that archive, fully index it, make it searchable, make it discoverable. And what some companies are now doing as a result, because legal is coming in and saying, hey, you need to hold all this data for X period of time. By moving this to an e-discovery solution in the cloud, IT departments can now go back to the business units and say, hey, look, here's your part of the bill. This is no longer an IT operating expense, but this is a business expense. This is where you're able to now reduce your IT budget as well, along with shrinking the overall footprint, bringing everything into that one solution, making it discoverable. And, Howard, you had a great story earlier this week where you were...
I did?
You did. Well, I'm sure you had a number of great stories. However, you did bring up that, you were restoring tapes for Exchange 5.5 to find
the
an email.
BBDO story, yeah.
Yeah.
What happened? How long did that actually take you to complete that process?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. 3 weeks, which, I'm sure
I was
from
looking for the one email that when I found it was worth $1.5 million, so
Absolutely.
3 weeks was fine.
With a solution like this, that one email can be found in less than 5 minutes. You're plugging in the search terms, you're identifying that content, and you're pulling that item back. And again, kind of touching on my past experience, having a solution like this just makes such a world of difference when you're constantly being asked to identify data. You're out there, sometimes you're casting a wide net to try and identify, hundreds of thousands of emails at first, because it's the date range search that you find. And then you kind of peel that back, and then you kind of keep slowly getting it back and making it workable. So you're actually moving all this data into PST files. And then from there, you're actually handing it off to the legal team, and they're now going off and doing their discovery against it. It's very time consuming, and it's a lot of work. It's never really easy. It's always a challenge because, did I send that email in July, or was that in November? Don't really know. So now all of a sudden all those searches just get blown up. And that's one of the things that we do with our e-discovery solutions, kind of help companies make that a little bit more streamlined. Help them identify that content, find it quickly, maybe set data retention policies right inside that e-discovery solution so after 7 years, that's supposed to get purged. 7 years comes, it gets purged, goes away. We also have our SkyOps as sort of our managed backup. It's not really the backup solution, but it's a way for our team to reach in and assist companies managing their backups and day-to-day operations. Maybe backups are now taking a little bit longer than expected. We're able to kind of look into our logs, identify, hey, somebody unchecked that incremental forever box, and now all of a sudden you're back to really long backup time windows as a result. It's one of the ways that we can kind of reach in and see what's going on, assist companies with level 1, level 2, or level 3, ultimately whatever they're looking for. We're able to pull all that together for them. Remote storage management, ways for us to actually, again, go out with an easy plugin we're able to deploy into an environment. We actually leverage NIMSoft as sort of our monitoring tool. So we're able to actually deploy agents into a customer's environment. That sets up an SSL VPN back to our environment in our data center, where we're able to correlate all that data, track it, trend the data, understand what's going on, do capacity planning, do plenty of things that companies just don't necessarily maybe have the ability to do, or they're looking to take it and move it off to a third-party company. And lastly, one of the more important things that I think is really cool about our facility, and also touches on a little bit of our history, who we are, the Elastic Data Center. One of the cool things that we have been able to do as a result of having such access to legacy hardware within our refurbished hardware business, we're able to put together a small POC lab for customers who want to test out moving their infrastructure from old legacy storage to net new storage, but they don't necessarily have the room, they don't have the time, they don't necessarily have the budget to go ahead and buy additional hardware that they need to do to build and test that out. We're able to do that for them. Some of the customers that we've worked with, surprisingly, still have all these legacy physical servers kicking around. They don't want to P2V them. Maybe it's Windows 2003, maybe it's AIX, old LVM. they have it all kicking around, but they need to make sure that it's going to work with E8. They need to make sure it's going to work with the new Unity systems or Pure Storage. We're able to kind of help them with that POC lab, bringing that all together. And whether it's connecting in for 3 months, 6 months, VPN, or they want physical access, we can provide all of that for them right out of our data center. It's really
So
nice.
You've got customers in Switzerland, you said, and
Yes.
worldwide. Are you guys going over there yourself and help them with all this stuff, or are you going
It's
to
usually
sell
a
it?
mix. So we do have field engineers as well, worldwide, assisting us with, hey, a storage drive failed. We need someone to go on site and replace a storage drive, or a controller failed. We have field engineers within that area that we would actually leverage to assist us with that. If this is something that is a little bit more complex issue that might be going on, we will happily send one of our tier 3 engineers with that experience if we don't necessarily have someone with 100% of what a customer's looking for out on site to assist. Absolutely.
Okay. And what are your customers at the moment? So hospitals, legal?
We have pretty much, you name it, legal. We have definitely have some hospitals. We have financial, real estate companies worldwide. Massive clients that are multi-billion-dollar companies, all the way down to mom and pop shops that are just looking to save a little bit of money.
Okay.
The data centers that you've got across Europe, who are they? Have you partnered with anybody?
Cirrus One,
It's Series 1.
yes.
Right, okay. So where are they based mainly?
They are, they're the number 3 data center worldwide. So they have facilities downtown London, Switzerland. They are in, I think they have one in Spain, Phoenix, Texas, Dallas, Sterling, Virginia. They're pretty,
From a European side, London, Switzerland,
yes.
Amsterdam?
I have to go back and double check their map. I believe that they have one there as well. Yes.
Do you have any customers that are in the public sector?
We do, absolutely. I'd say most of them are. We have a few government as well. Mostly around the third-party maintenance side of the business, where we're actually maintaining their storage systems for them.
Are you guys doing anything on the GDPR thing?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Anything you can share?
So that's on the e-discovery side of it. It's more been on Kirk Carter's team that's
Okay.
actually been really tracking that and moving forward with it.
Mm-hmm.
We can definitely catch up on that.
Sure.
Provide you more information.
All right, thanks.
And according to the Cyrus One site, it's London, Singapore, and multiple North Americas.
Right, okay.
So as we kind of talk through a lot of those different offerings that we actually have, again, I want to just touch briefly on what our Sky Market and what we demoed earlier this week, Commvault Go, is a way that we're going to actually start incorporating more and more of these solutions and our managed services into that marketplace. Ways for consumers to go out and easily identify what type of service they're looking for, click on a particular tile, subscribe to that service, and now be off and running. Whether it's a managed hybrid cloud where they want to move long-term file data out to some cloud vendor of their choice. Fall River, Amazon, Google, AWS. Ultimately, we really don't care what cloud vendor people want to move to, but we want to help people manage that data and manage that process. Because I think it's complex, it's hard to understand, it's never really easy, as simple as it would be to subscribe. There's a lot that goes on into it. And that's really what we want to see our marketplace grow to.
So when you're saying embedded billing, invoicing, credit card gateways, this means I can actually buy services and not have to talk to a salesperson?
Yes. You can. You do not have to talk to any salespeople at all.
Sorry.
Nope, that's totally understandable.
Sorry, not sorry.
That's right.
Still
Absolutely.
not talking to
Even better, they
salespeople,
don't have
but-
to pay commissions.
Well, there is that too.
So bring it all together, what does that mean for our customers? We have the ability to provide storage, network, infrastructure, worldwide, help manage those services, help companies move forward from whatever project they might be looking for, bringing that forward regardless of where it is. Briefly, this is sort of some of our maintenance support and third-party maintenance business that we're actually handling, where we can kind of go out and assist. I want to skip through here. It's sort of our global presence of where we are today, between customers, what we have for actual forward stocking locations, various our assets that we actually have within our forward stocking locations. It's a pretty nice little splash screen about where we are globally. Even though we are based out of the Northeast, we actually have a pretty big footprint.
Amsterdam.
So,
Don't know which Amsterdam
Warwick?
though, but
From New Amsterdam.
Yes, Warwick.
You mean New York?
probably something in Iceland.
Oh, okay.
And I do want to move forward a little bit. Some of our other services that we offer as we're taking hardware out, data erasure services, trade-in and buybacks. I know I touched on some of that already. But it really does help customers as they're trying to find any way possible to purchase that net new storage. Budgets are tight. Sometimes any little bit helps. So if we can kind of go in there and maybe it's the services side of the business that we don't necessarily have to charge to erase the data because we know the storage array has some value. And when we take it off the floor, we offset those costs. And that helps companies in the long run where they kind of manage that smaller budget that they have, still purchase that net new storage array, but get to where they want to go.